I'm back with another video game collection. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible. So here it is, my PlayStation 3 collection. First off, we have Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2, both for the PS3, obviously. What I liked about both of these games, the stealth, I like the fact that you can climb anywhere. I definitely feel that Assassin's Creed 2 improved upon the things you can do in the game, although it kind of more made the story a bit more convoluted and very sci-fi. But overall, I can't really say which one I like better. I mean, they're both really good games, and they're both about $30 now. So, if you haven't experienced either of these, I highly suggest if you own a PS3 or even a 360, if that's your console choice, pick up Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Moving on, we have Devil May Cry 4, the fourth game in the quadrilogy for the Devil May Cry series. I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, I was unsure of Nero, which is the main character right here. As you can see, he looks pretty much just like Dante, so I mean, why mess up, a good formula? But they did. They threw in a completely useless new character and just made him look like Dante. I really don't see why they had to do that. I mean, he does have this very interesting, as you can see, this claw, which kind of like grabs your enemies, and I really enjoyed that mechanic of the game. But beyond that, I felt that Nero was kind of bland, unpolished. I mean, he's the new kid on the block for Devil May Cry, and Dante is like this, much older, more mature Dante, and he just seems to just toy with this kid. And I don't know if it's like a mentor kind of thing, kind of like a sensei kind of thing, or if it's just to amuse himself. I don't know. But apparently Nero has some kind of Spartan blood in him, and they don't really expand upon that, so I'm sure there'll be a Devil May Cry 5, in which we'll find something out. If you like the Devil May Cry series, pick it up, definitely. I'm sure if you are a fan of the series, you've already got this for some console. It's an interesting ride altogether. Then we move on to Final Fantasy XIII. Now, this is heavily controversial, especially by the move that Square Enix made to basically cut down on a lot of the Final Fantasy staples, such as inns and towns and shops and minigames and side quests and things like that. Things that really make a Final Fantasy game a Final Fantasy, and definitely it marked, with the exception of Final Fantasy XI, which is an online game. It's the first time a main series Final Fantasy, which was supposed to be a PS3 exclusive, went to the 360. Personally, they keep up with that kind of teeny angst drama kind of thing, and it gets whiny and annoying, and definitely there's a lot of similarities between certain past characters. I mean, this game plays a lot like Final Fantasy X, and likewise, you've got the typical Riku character, Vanille, which is just, you just want to strangle her. I think she kind of like, it doesn't get as bad by the end of the game, but I think it's just because I've managed to tune her out. Overall, I kind of like the linearity of the game, how it goes from like a straight shot map to a cutscene to blah 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 blah, and that it really provides character development, if there is any, if you can really tell that there's character development in the game. But I like the way that they made the characters interact, especially in battle, since you don't even get to pick your party until 25 hours in or so. So you have to play for an entire 24 hours before you even get to a part where you can change your party. But the world really does open up when you reach Grand Pulse. It's worth a shot. If you were unsure about Final Fantasy XIII, you'll probably remain unsure unless you give it a try. Rent it. I highly suggest renting it. You may not like it like I did. I was surprised. I was anticipating this game. It didn't disappoint, at least in my opinion, and this was the breaking point for me. And since Final Fantasy XIV is going to be an online MMO, I'm hoping for Versus 13 to be a PS3 exclusive, and they best not port it and screw something up or cut some content in order to make it for the 360 as well, because Square Enix has really got to start living up to what they say. It's not about the money, it's about the fans. Moving on, we have both the God of War Collection and God of War 3. Now, let me start off with the God of War Collection. This is a remastered version of both 1 and 2 for the PS2, run on the PS3's Blu-ray, trophy support in high def. Load times are practically gone, with the exception of in the second one. There's a couple loading screens which I wish they would have removed. It also included a demo voucher for God of War 3, which is up on the PSN now, so it doesn't really matter. But for a reduced price of $40, probably even $20 now, if you've never experienced the God of War Collection, or if you never even experienced God of War, you should definitely pick it up if you have a PS3 to just relive it. I wish they would have included Chains of Olympus, but for whatever reason they chose not to. And then we have God of War 3, like I said. This game really takes it to the next level. I feel on one part that the story is kind of broken up, and I think it's kind of hashed together, and I feel like they kind of dropped the ball. But I like it. I like the way it ended. It's a decent start. It's short, just like the first game. But going from God of War 2 to God of War 3, you'll definitely see somewhat of a downgrade, but at the same time an upgrade of the epicness and how powerful the scenes are. It's a fun game, and they've added some new mechanics, and why mess with something that's good? I highly recommend you pick it up. Then we have the complete saga of the Star Wars Lego series. This is the first game I got when I bought my PS3, and I have 100% the whole thing, 40 some odd hours. I love it. Who knew Legos and Star Wars could be such a smash hit? If you haven't had a chance to experience any of the Lego games, I suggest you start with this, unless you're more familiar with the Batman or Indiana Jones plot lines and story. And then we have Little Big Planet, a game that really took the gaming community by storm. I, however, feel that although its level editor is insane, if you don't have a lot of time to spend on it, the whole level editing, making your own levels, really is irrelevant. And it's really the main story, which there's 50 levels, I think. And or maybe there's 25, I don't know how many there are, but I feel that once you beat the game, there's really not a whole point in going back to it. I mean, you can play community levels, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a really cool game, though. You should definitely pick it up. And my final two games for my PS3 collection, we have the new Prince of Persia. Well, not the new, the new old Prince of Persia, and we have Soul Calibur 4. I'm going to start off with this because, to be quite honest, it is a fighter. Fighters are kind of bland. This is definitely one of the weakest ones in the series. I think 2 and 3 are better than this. But it's interesting. You can play as Darth Vader. That's really all I have to say. But with Prince of Persia, I've never played a Prince of Persia game before, so I really enjoyed playing through this, especially the cell shading and the fact that it was basically mostly acrobatic stuff. I mean, it's fun. Fighting is pretty simple, and the epilogue DLC is very much worth your money, and it ramped up the difficulty a lot. I enjoyed it. I really can't wait for the sequel to this. I want to see how the Prince and Elika, what happens. So that's been my PS3 collection.